Hey yo guys, welcome to the bonus content, the Patreon exclusive content from the episode 2 of Portfolio Review with Mariana. Now, the whole entire conversation that we had was 2 hours long, which I had edited down to 1 hour for YouTube. But here you can find the rest of that conversation. So, without further ado, let's join the conversation. So, are you, one thing I wanted to ask you, so are you somebody who sort of goes and reads everything in a portfolio?
Yeah, that's another important thing. Unfortunately, none of us are. And even the person who's doing the portfolio, you know when you're doing it and you're putting the text. You know they're not going to see it. So I have a couple of tricks whenever I want someone to read what I'm trying to say, because you do want people to read, of course. So the first thing I do is I take a full advantage of one capitals and the bold, and I never use color, but you can use the color. So usually what I do is I spread the full big ass text into, like, I don't know, 3 paragraphs with some spacing, and then I create I kind of tell the story with a couple of capitals and bold. So all of us, first of all, we will read in diagonal. We all do it. We read in diagonal and we try to get it. So you look at this and then you read in diagonal, like, let me see if I get it just by flipping it through. So if in diagonal, and I don't mean this literally, but if diagonally you can tell the story with your bold and your caps, that will make me probably feel intrigued to read the whole thing. Or maybe I just read the diagonal and I understand what you mean. So take full advantage of caps and bold.
That's actually pretty because this is something I think everybody struggles with. Is you include a lot of text in your portfolio, and even suppose I'm going through portfolios for this episode. Even I am not going through, especially when I'm finalizing portfolios, I am not going through all of the text that has been written. My main focus is actually grabbed by much more by visuals, much more by the design of the portfolio than by and this is okay, yeah. So this is one thing is something that we were battling with in the last episode as well, is where Viviana told is portfolios are much more about graphic design. Then so when you're looking at portfolios, so would you focus a lot on the person's design as well, or would you look at the graphic design of that person, like how the portfolio looks?
I understand the question, but, like, again, I think it's super circumstantial. Like, sometimes I really want someone who shows me they are good at doing retail spaces, so I'm probably looking at your plans with a lot of care, to be honest. I want to see how you think about architecture, so I'm looking at your plans. Definitely, I look at a lot of plans. Obviously, I want to see your graphics, and they are really important, but it really depends on what kind of project I'm thinking about hiring someone to. So, and you know what? I think that maybe in the future our portfolios should include an audio, because, to be honest, like this, having too much text on your portfolio is, again, like, how can you redact your project to 2 pages? And you thought about it so much, and you have so many theories about it, and how can you explain them without being boring? So most likely we should just include an audio, like super short audio. So in this project I decided to, that it might be important.
That might just open up the gates to like cinematic portfolios going on.
Yeah, cinematic portfolio, but bite size, not like boring Netflix show.
Let's come to page number 3, project number 3, which called installation number #5.
Your number. Okay.
Yeah. So, your thoughts on? I think it's a interesting project from the visuals of it. So, what goes on in your head when you're looking at this?
I think I really like the way you're composing your project. They look like competition panels, but don't forget this is a portfolio. So don't give me so much information in one page only. For a competition, this is definitely a winner. But for a portfolio, give me a little taste of something, make me intrigued, and then bam, show me what your project is about. Okay, so I would definitely do the same template, a little logo, keywords, and then you give me a full spread of. I think the photo that you have on the next page, on page 9 on the PDF. I think I would get that photo in the full spread so I understand, one, it's a build project. It does look like a build project. One, it's a build project, and two, it has design and it's intriguing. So I would definitely keep this image on the full spread. And then you give me all of the explanation, how you did it, what kind of components you have, and that's it. I think it's really weird because people are not feared about having all the projects they have done in their life in your portfolio, but it seems like they are a bit of scared of taking some pages and time to explain the project. So it's like, so here's the project, and then you say everything you have to say in the same page, and then here's 20 projects, you know? And it's really not that. It's like, here are 3 projects, and I have to tell you this, and then you show me like a big load of work on it. So it's more like that than. So regarding urban routes, I think it looks like a very cool competition panel. Spread this out definitely. It looks like an important project. Give me this in full spreads, one for diagrams, one for renders. So again, that's exactly the same. We have a lot of information in this section on page 15 PDF. A lot of information in this section. Give me in a full spread, that's for sure.
Let's come to page number 22. By the way, I feel like this project, the one on 22, I think I've seen it on Instagram.
I really.
Yeah. To think about it, it's very simple and yet so like impactful.
Yeah, I think this project is really important, and it might be an important project for a lot of offices that deal with this. Okay. I have a lot of offices in mind that will be really interested in this project specifically, but again, you're not making it enough justice. So all of these descriptions you have and all of these diagrams, give me this in a full spread. Okay, kill some of the projects you have before these ones, and focus on this one quite a lot. Okay, so spread this information in, like, give me some more time to sink in this project. Definitely, especially these exploded diagrams. And then regarding creative works, I think you should call it something else, which is really important. You should call it design research. Okay, because imagine that you're applying to a DRL, for example, or something real like DRL. All of this info, all of this work that you have after this, it really shows design research, technology in this case. A lot of them, it looks a bit like robotic, or yeah, I'll definitely call it design research. So, and I think the way you're doing your pages are fine. Maybe have a lot of information in this machine learning. I would take 2 spreads for the machine learning project. It looks like an important one. And like I'm telling you, there are a lot of courses, international courses, talking about machine learning. It's something that I did a lot on DRL, especially this diagram you have about scenarios and implementation logic. That diagram deserves more space. Okay, seems quite important. And then definitely this robotic work that you have with the brick wall, you need to have that in the full spread. Okay, because it's too important nowadays to speak about this. So definitely keep a full spread. And then I'm not sure if this fashion photography is yourself. If it is, I think this is a super cool statement. It's super cool. It's very strong. And it shows me a lot of your personality. So I would probably keep this as a last page on its own. Not like taking the full spread, but just in the center. So you end in this like kind of statement. I would like it if I was the one reviewing. I would be intrigued.
All right, before we go ahead, let's look at a question from people. Even though this person was is in first year, as he says, there was one question that he had is, even though most of us have to follow the same patterns, do same things, is how do you stand out then? If people are following similar patterns, similar things in their design, in the way they present.
I think that first of all, you don't need to present in the same way and to follow the same pattern. So I think your question, you got me there right in the beginning of your question. So I don't, even if I remember my grad times, I never fully did the things in the same patterns as the other ones. But naturally, it's not because I was imposing myself to be different. I was just maybe I'm doing what I felt the need to do. So it was more like that. So whenever you feel like you have to explain things in a different way or in your way, that's the thing. They will come out different regardless. So I really think that whenever you think I'm gonna do it my way, and I don't mean like being stubborn or doing something against your teacher, you're just gonna do it your way. It's necessarily going to be a unique way because it's your way. So I would say that there are no tricks for that. I just, in my case, for example, I think it was just a natural necessity to express or to explain something my way. Okay.
And yeah, when you're doing things your way, it sort of uh, easier for you to explain them as well, is because that is, you know, the way of communicating it forward then is when you are putting it forward the way you want to.
Yeah, for example, and everyone's gonna like these stories because it's an office story. But when you're working at the office, of course, there is a Zaha way. Everyone knows this. It's not a style, but it's a way of doing things. And to be honest, even people from the office, they would rather see your way of doing it and not the typical way. So even at the office, I try to do things my way. And when I try to do things the office way or like the traditional office way, they are usually the things that people don't like the most. They like the odd ones, the ones that are they look a bit more unique. Even you would feel a bit uncomfortable about it because they are so you and it looks immature and you're like, oh, this is so unpolished. Most likely it's the one that people like the most because it's different. So if you do it your way, usually it brings something unique on it.
All right. Coming on to again project number 3. There's a full size image which would look better without any text on it.
I really like the way you're combining these colors. It shows that you're bold.
Yeah,
It still shows
I
that
was
you're
just about to
shy.
say.
Yeah, it still shows that you're shy, but you were really bold about combining these colors.
Yes, I like, especially on as you go in this project, page number 11, page number 12. I really love the use of the reddish tones with the black.
Definitely. And then once again, I think that definitely you see like you have like a this big plan on page 12 and then you have these tiny plans below. I would
Yeah.
create probably two more pages and have the bottom plans but on top as well. So
Mm-hmm.
probably like show me a plan of your ground floor. It's very important, the ground floor of your typical floor. In this case, I like the fourth floor. It shows like a lot of more complexity. So and the top floor.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just duplicate this spread twice and then give me your typical floor and your top floor. Even if you're copying and you're showing me the same plan because they are tiny, if you give me them bigger, it's fine if you're just showing me the same information. I think it deserves more attention.
Also, one thing I wanted to ask, so as you were saying, is where the graphic design was speaking much more than the drawing skills. Even in the plan that we see that is bigger, uh, to me a little bit with the shadows and everything, it feels like the what is inside the plan is getting lost a little bit. So if you could like decrease the opacity of the shadows and maybe brighten the furniture layout and everything up so that we could see that a little better as well.
I think it's just a Photoshop kind of thing, just a little bit of
Yeah.
brightness. Yeah.
So from interiors, let's come to outdoors, which is his landscape design.
You're really good at these graphics. Not the cover, but the plan that you have after on page 16.
Yes.
Yeah, you're so good at them.
I feel like this plan, if we could have more of it, as you said, like a bigger spread.
Yeah, definitely. I think this plan deserves a full spread.
Yeah, this could be the cover instead of the image because I really love the plan a lot.
I agree. And for example, I think even these sections are important, but they could be tiny. I don't care. But if you take this plan for full spread and then you do something that you're not doing here, which is walk me through the project, because you're giving me these tiny numbers and you're giving me 4 numbers. But when I look at the plan, the first thing that we all want to know is, from where do I entry? Where do I start? And then it's like a storytelling. And then you guiding me through it, and then you're telling me, and this is the exit. Okay, so this plan deserves a full spread, more numbers, the entry number, the exit number, and I would even do like a flow diagram. So where do I go? Where do most of the people go? So passenger flow in this case. So where would these people go mainly, and what would they do here? And even like if you have more illustrations, you can even pull them like aside and show me a tiny perspective of it, like even a watercolor, whatever. I don't know how you're doing this, but give me like a tiny perspective of ambience. So here you're gonna see this and show me a perspective, and here you're gonna see this. I like this project quite a lot. This is like, I can tell that you spent some time on it.
And especially when you're doing such landscape projects or urban projects, you have the uh, I know it becomes a lot constrained putting it in the portfolio because you want to put all of it in, but also you now have the opportunity that you can show that, because it's on bigger projects you also work on a lot of things, so you can show your ability to understand that. I understand that how people would behave in a certain area, so how you've designed that, and you could show those little things as well here.
And you know what, like even a lot of we work with very very good landscape designers and landscape architects, and I would definitely tell you that if a landscape architect sees this drawing, they can tell that you have some very good skills on landscape. So take full opportunity of it. You never know, maybe you're like a great landscape designer. So yeah, make this big. Working drawing.
Yeah. So, what is your take on it? Usually, when people put working drawings, it's they are plain on boring drawings. But do you think they should either opt for this one, or do you think not to go in this direction?
I'm gonna be honest. For me, this is a big yes. Yes, I think it's subjective, but for me, it's like definitely yes. If you're good at doing, if you know how to do details, and if you're good at doing technical drawings, give me a special appendix to your portfolio and show me I'm good at doing technical drawings. Bam, 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 and then you show me all of this work that he has. I think it's amazing. I would definitely increase the size of the plans. I don't think that this facade that you have is this a facade? No, basement plan. I think the basement plan is not very important. Take it out, it's not relevant.
Yes.
But increase the size of your the one that says second plan. Increase the size of your second plan so I can see a little more into detail. Because this is not just not graphics. Okay, we are architects. I know that there's a lot of information inside of these plans. I want to know if you know that information. So take the basement plan and increase the plans. And then the details on the next pages, they are perfect. I would most likely just increase a bit of the brightness of the white because it's a bit faded or ghosted. But they're really important. I'm just not sure if you I think I would keep these working drawings a bit to the end of the portfolio because you have another project coming afterwards and it feels like a bit misplaced. Yeah.
All right. So let's move on to our next project, which is the green MTP. I really like the sketch thing that has come up here as well. Is I think till now we did not see a sketch, if I'm not wrong, and I like that. Again, it is used as an icon. Every project has an icon here, so I like the little sketch thingy that is coming up as well.
I agree, but I'm gonna have to break this romantic feel to hand sketching. I know it's terrible, and I love hand sketch, but maybe this is too bad. But I think I just kind of grew apart, and I am looking at your hand sketch, and this will make an amazing icon in Illustrator. I know it's terrible, but I could definitely see this in Illustrator with just like these two gestures, this, and then something more geometric on top on Illustrated with different thickness of lines. Don't kill me. No, for example, for my own portfolio, I had like this addendum, this appendix in the end just for hand sketching. So it's not too mixed because you don't feel that it's very natural, this digital and hand sketching together. They don't match much. So that's why I kept them in the end. Maybe you can do the same. But this is definitely a good opportunity for you to bring it to Illustrator and then draw them with different line thicknesses. We do that a lot in the office. A lot.
Looking at the project, I think this is a great for, and especially somebody if they're putting up an urban design project, uh, and which is something at a larger scale. I think this is a great way of putting it up. Again, I'll have to go in and read through everything if I want to, but then I think I have the ability to zoom in, and they're big enough that if I want to zoom in. But overall, I liked how it's being shown. It's really nice.
I agree. I agree. I think this page, you barely don't have to do any more work on this page. I would just increase the number sizes. And once again, we are lazy people. I want to know where the entry is and where the exit is. I know this is annoying, but that's reality. When I look at this, I want to know how are you guiding me through this project. So where am I entering and where am I exiting? And that takes me to another kind of diagram that you can complement this one, but not on this page. Okay, on another page, I would do a flow diagram. So where would I go? What are the possibilities? Where is like the typical flow in this space? Okay, so where do I go? Which buildings do I go to? What does it happen there? And then where do I live? So that's like just a flow diagram just to complement this project. But apart from that, this is a very good panel already.
And but it is in very contrast to the next one. Is where now there are a lot of images together, and the plan is not as readable.
Exactly. Claudia, you're so good at doing these plans. Like this plan looks perfect. Why is it so tiny? Like I just feel bold about it. Like you did it, it looks good. Just increase this to a full spread. Like I want to see how you thought about these spaces, and especially because you have like dwelling spaces, you have apartment units, and it's for an architect. It's so important to understand how do you plan your units. So I really want to see this in a bigger size, and then definitely this render or this visualization that you have on the right corner, full spread on this, definitely. Like this is like I don't want to put it like that, but this is probably the render that would get you to Shipperfield, for example. So take a full spread on this render for sure.
Next project. This is not a hand sketch, is it? I think this is cat drawn.
Yeah, but for example, this could be an icon. It is intriguing. Yeah. The same thing. The only thing I have to say about the project, I like the project. I think you should, again, like you even only have 20 pages. Like show me these renders in full spread. They're really good. I think that this on page 13, I would tell you not to mix a top view plan with one interior render. It's not very consistent. So walk me through the project as in, so this is the top view, so and this is the exterior, and this is the plan number ground floor, and this is the interior. Okay, so it's important to be consistent on this.
Yeah. I would just like to compliment on the interior render. I think it's nice. I think the space is really nicely designed. So that I really love. Personal note.
Wait, which takes me to another important thing. Since you are design driven and you are working on big offices, you have to include, and especially for your case, you really have to include on every project which software did you use for what. Okay, tiny, small, like even like on my Instagram page projects, I do that. I say modeled Maya, rendered in V-Ray, post production in Photoshop. Super simple, because like I'm super intrigued to know what kind of rendering software you use this. And imagine they look so good that even if my office doesn't have a license for it, I would probably get it for you. Okay, so that happens. So if you tell me, this is Lumion, and I'm like, oh, I don't have any licenses, maybe I'll get a license for you. So do that. Always include that.
All right. So coming to this project installation, first of all, the title itself has me very intrigued. I spend most of my, I think it's because I spend most of my days on Instagram, but still. But yeah, again, I love the renders. Again, I would have loved to see bigger renders, as you had said, as you say. I love the colors that are going in though.
Me too. I think you should. You can afford to take more time on this installation.
That was such a. At that time, we literally spent the next 5 minutes after that part just talking about hype. But I'm explaining to him why he should see it.
Oh, really?
He asked me like if we because we were doing scores, right? So he asked me what would you score the first movie, and I think for the first movie I had said it was like a 6.5 ish, and then he said you want me to watch it then. I was like, but then the story that builds up, you have to watch it from the first, and it goes on to becoming mind blowing.
I think my favorite is actually Chamber of Secrets.
The second one.
The second one, yeah, because like of the slithering of the huge snake that is like behind the walls and talking and whispering. That was amazing. Definitely my favorite one.
I think as a child, I loved the fourth film just because of the spectacle of it.
Which one is the fourth one? It's like the one with the labyrinth. Which one is the fourth one?
The fourth one is the Goblet of Fire, is where all three schools come and they have the competition going on. I think because of the spectacle of it, I really loved it.
And then the Peace Pavilion. Okay, so I think for the Peace Pavilion, I'm just missing. I really like the first page. Again, the text. Yeah, I'll break the text. But I think that for this design research that you've done, I'm just missing like the human figure for scale. And yeah, and then like I'd say it's good. The technical drawings, maybe the plans, you can bring a bit of brightness on Photoshop because it's a bit ghosted. But overall, I like this project, and I like that you're showing that you have abilities on design research.
Yeah, although I would like to say, like visually, this project is not as great as the other projects that are in there. Again, when right from the first render, I think when I look at the other projects and I look at this project, there's a bit of a difference that I see. I think the render can be a lot better. Just I think finishing it with the right textures and the right materials would just take it to another level. But the main thing that I want to talk about is what we talked about in the last episode as well, is in the next page where we see this stark black. And till now, this portfolio was going, I mean, color wise, this was going very, something that was very soothing. And then you hit me with the black. And it's sort of,
Yeah, I know what you mean. But like but you know why I've done a lot of these graphics and they look a lot cooler in than in white.
here, I think what Priyansh's portfolio did, instead of using black, he used either dark blues, grays, and I think doing that, and maybe if you want to use color in the I mean that's your choice. You can keep it black and white. You can use color, but I think instead of black, you can use like a darker gray. You can use like a textured gray if you want to, and I think that would sit really well with how the portfolio is going.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
And that was it, you guys. I hope you liked that. I hope you enjoyed this conversation, got to learn something from it. And I would just like to thank you all for being a patron once again. Your support is helping this channel grow. Let me know all of your thoughts about this video, about my videos in general, any type of content that you specifically want, all of that down in the comments below. And that was it. I will see you guys soon for more videos, for more content. And yeah, bye bye.